Hello, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. My name is Elijah and welcome as we tackle this question. Now in this question, the number of patients admitted will be our X and the admission department's cost will be our Y. Now generally, in cost estimation, the cost becomes Y and the other cost driver, if we can call it so, that is the reason why we incur such costs, becomes the X. Okay, so required using HILO method, estimate the fixed and variable components of admission costs. As you have already highlighted in the HILO method in the notes, so let's attempt HILO method. We need an equation in the form of y equals to a plus bx. Now how do you get the value of b? B equals to highest cost minus lowest cost divided by highest level of activity. Highest level of activity minus lowest level of activity. So what we will do, we will identify those two pairs of data and that will help us to attempt the question. Okay, so let us identify the highest and lowest pairs of data. Now when identifying highest and lowest, you identify based on X, not based on Y. That is based on the lowest level of activity. Why? Sometimes you may find that, let's assume we have X and we have Y. You may find that you have X, maybe the lowest being maybe 1000 and Y is maybe 300 maybe 1000. But you find that there is also a Y that is maybe to 50,000, but it does not have the lowest of X. Maybe this is maybe 1200. Now some people may take 1000 and to 50,000, but that is not a pair, because the pair is either 1000 and 300,000 or 1200 and to 50,000. So what should you take? Should you use Y or X? No, you should not use Y, you should use X, so that your lowest will be 1000 and 300,000 instead of 1200 and 50,000. Good, so I hope the concept is at home. Now the lowest of X is 1100, that is associated with 12800, and the highest is 1900 associated with 15200. So let's identify that somewhere here and say about the highest and lowest. So highest and lowest, that is for X and for Y. Y, the lowest is 1100 with 12800, sorry, for X and Y, and 1900 and 15200. So 1900 and 15200. Good. Now we can be able to determine the value of B, which is highest cost. Cost is shown by Y, so that is 15200 minus 12800 divided by 1900 minus 1100. Let's see how much that gives us. We can use our calculator. So that is 15200 minus 12800. That gives us 2400. So that is 2400 divided by, of course, that is 800. Now when you do that, that gives you 3. We now have our value of B. The next value that we need to get is A. Now to obtain to obtain the value of A, what should we do? We take either the highest or lowest pair of data. We take either the highest or lowest pair of data and do what? And substitute it. As well as the calculated value of y of b, the calculated value of b, and substitute it in the equation y equals to a plus bx. In the equation y equals to a plus bx. For instance, taking maybe the lowest plus the value of b, we remind ourselves that y equals to a plus bx. So y, that is 12,800, equals to a, which we don't know, plus b, which is 3, times x, which is 1100. So 12,800 equals to a plus, that is 3,300. Okay, so you can get the difference between 12,800 and 3,300. So 12,800 minus 3,300, that gives us 9,500. So 12,800 minus 3,300 equals to 9,500. So therefore, equals to a. So a equals to 9,500. Now with that, then we can be able to answer our question. The question wanted us to get the fixed component and the variable component of admission cost. We can first of all get these values, or rather get the equation and say that y equals to a plus bx. So that y equals to a, that is 9,500, plus b, which is 3x. Good. So we now need to get the variable component and the fixed component. The fixed component is the value of a, so the fixed component, generally the fixed cost is shillings 9,500, while the variable component of cost, that is the variable cost per unit, is shillings 3 per, now it is not a unit but rather they are admitting patients, per patient admitted. So per patient admitted. Good. So that is how the high-low method is done.